Please be seated. Christmas time is a preacher's delight. Such good stories. Angels coming from heaven, the Holy Family wandering across Israel looking for a place to stay, a great villain in evil King Herod, shepherds stumbling haplessly through the dark looking for God, sorcerers wandering in from Iraq, and of course, a family with no place to stay because there was no room at the inn. The symbols that accompany these stories run deep. Light scattering darkness, God coming to the lowliest people in society, God creating life where no one thought life should be, Jews and Gentiles gathering together, a child usurping an emperor, and of course, a mother's love. This past week, I planned to write the definitive sermon on Christmas. It was going to elucidate a theology of the Incarnation more thoroughly than you can imagine. It would have bored you to tears, but it would have been brilliant. I'm pretty sure I could have published it. I'm pretty sure the recording of this service would be made into a Netflix special. That was my plan. But I did not have time to write a sermon this week. It turned out to be a crazy week. We opened a homeless shelter last night. What kind of church opens a homeless shelter during the same week as Christmas? Who starts a great big project like this when you're trying to get all of Christmas going? I spent the week calling volunteers who do the actual work around here. I spent a lot of time on the phone with the East Bay Housing Consortium. I carried supplies from office over to the parish hall, and I wrote a press release, and I spent hours and hours wrangling with insurance companies from the East Bay Housing Consortium, the City of Alameda, and Christ Episcopal Church. I was annoyed. This whole time, I was supposed to be focused on Jesus, and instead, I was distracted by these homeless people who needed a place to stay on a cold winter's night. And of course, the irony hit me. Perhaps the theology of a homeless shelter is the most succinct summary of Christmas that one could ask for. Here in our midst, we have people who we consider to be virtually untouchable. They have no place to live. In our gospel story, shepherds in their time were considered to be truly untouchable. No one associated with them. Yet God called them right into the heart of the story. In the gospel, we get Mary singing the Magnificat, this subversive song that reverses the values of this world, which raises compassion over greed. We have refugees in this story, just as Jesus and Mary and Joseph had to flee to Egypt to escape evil King Herod. And of course, the obvious symbolism, no room at the inn. Now, I risk being self-righteous by preaching about our own homeless shelter here on Christmas Eve. It is really a very small homeless shelter, and it just got started, so it's just starting to gain momentum. We had one family staying with us last night. And really, it's just a Band-Aid on what is a regional crisis. But the idea of a warm bed for a tired soul captures Christmas pretty well. Normally, I would not host a Christmas pageant with Will, and plan a concert with Michael, and plan multiple services with our altar guild, and put together a homeless shelter. This is not the week I planned, and so this is not the sermon I planned, but I think it is the week this community might need, and perhaps the sermon I need to hear if I'm so busy trying to get stuff done. We're here tonight looking for the mystery of God's presence right among us. We're here looking for angels in the darkness. This is no fairy tale. It's no ancient legend. The Christmas story can be real. We can be part of the drama of making room in the inn, of making space in our hearts for those who are left out. That is better than any textbook would tell us about a theology of Christmas. It's a pretty good Christmas. Amen.